everyone, and welcome to NameHero.com. In today's video tutorial, I'm going to talk about something completely offbeat, yet something kind of creative that I thought of, and you may find it beneficial. So just recently, my brother and I, we were talking about our kids, and if you register the domain for your child, with the online world moving how it is, .coms are everything, and they're of course not making anymore. So, when you decide to have a child and you decide with your spouse or significant other or partner and decide on a name, do you register that name? Me personally, I did not register ryangray.com back in the 90s when it was available. I said, well, back then in 98, I was just getting started and .coms were $75 a year. And I was like, well, I'll get around to it, but I don't even know what's going to happen. Is the .coms going to take off as I think, or is it not? And so I put it off. And what happened was someone else registered that name. And nowadays, they want a lot of money to secure that domain. So I haven't yet purchased it, and maybe I'll get around to it, maybe I won't. Again, it's the value keeps going up, and the person that has it, they do not want to let it go. And apparently there's a lot of Ryan Grays in this world. I personally know another one. So, it's a more common name. So, when you make that decision to name your child, I personally recommend registering the domain. You never know in the future if your child wants to have a customized email account, or you just want to have the name just to hang on to it because it's, kind of carving out your a piece of virtual digital real estate, for your family, for your child. Again, I skipped on doing it and someone else registered it, and I really wish I would have. And, me personally, I probably, if I had the name ryangray.com, I would probably have a personal blog that just kind of details the stuff I do online. Of course, I've got the NameHero blog, but, just something personal that I could write about my business experience as well as some of my personal experiences. And so again, I regret not doing that. And so I'm making this video to suggest that maybe you don't make the same mistake that I did. And so, since then, each time I've got 3 kids currently, and my wife and I are about to have another. And my brother and I were having this conversation, and I said, well, yes, I do register their names as domains. He goes, well, I do too. And he said, well, what about availability? He said, and we both discussed that in 2 cases, we've had to use middle initials. So we've had to do, first name, middle initial, and then last name because the first and last name were not available. So again, this is why, I recommend doing it, as soon as you decide on a name, going and checking it. And, once you decide on it, then you can, register it. Now, we have my wife and I are expecting our 4th child here later this summer. So we've got a couple names that, we're deciding on or thinking about. Because of this video tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and just choose our top pick right now. And again, this might change, but I'm going to show you in this tutorial, 1, how to register that name. And also 2, for those of you that want to be a little bit creative, how to do something, creative for this exciting time in your life. And me personally, I'm just going to do this as just kind of a gift for my wife, or, just something cool, something out of the ordinary. For those of you that have a spouse, a significant other, or a partner, it's the small surprises that make the most impact. It's not of course, sometimes a nice gift is nice, a nice piece of jewelry, a nice piece of clothing, but sometimes gifts with more thought that go into them, they go a lot further. So for those of you that are out there watching, the guys and girls, and you're looking for something maybe to show your spouse, to just give them something that's completely, out of the norm, you might, want to follow this tutorial. And this doesn't take a lot of time to do, and it'll be really quick, I promise. So right now I'm on the main page of NameHero. I'm going to head over here to our instant domain checker. So, aside from our high-speed web hosting, we also do sell domains, and we register domains. And we've registered quite a bit. You can see we've registered over 100,000 since we started NameHero back in late 2014, 2015. And, I guess it's also worth mentioning, I originally started NameHero as DNSHero.com because I was primarily just going to build a domain platform for my own use, because I register domains like crazy as investments. And so NameHero started out as just a platform so I could have all my domains in one spot, and I could manage the DNS to park a lot of them, put for sale pages up and all that. So that was a really core aspect to NameHero. And then it was later I decided that we were going to add this high-speed hosting and make a full-blown web product out of it. And then we changed the name over to NameHero instead of DNS Hero. Anyways, with that out of the way, I'm going to type in our top name. So our top name right now is Cruz Gray. And I want to look for the .com, which it's going to default to that anyways. And you can see, as luck would have it, it is available. And, that's, pretty rare nowadays to find the first name and last name. So I'm definitely going to hop on this and get this registered. And again, I'm going to do this right now in front of everyone so you can see it. Now, if your spouse and you aren't decided on a name, again, you can register a couple of them. And remember, the registration's only for 1 year. So if you pick 5 names and you just secure 5 domains, and then after the year's up and you've decided on a name, you can drop the others and they won't renew, and then you can renew the one that you decided on. So I'm just gonna, again, this is one of our top names, so I'm gonna go ahead and choose it and register it. So I click the price. It's $12.98 a year, and it's gonna add here to my cart. All right, so it's in there. Now, of course, you can get the .net, .org, .co, .info, and all these other TLDs if you wish. Me personally, I'm a huge .com fan. I go here first, and later on, I add these others if this is what we really decide on, or whatnot. But me personally, I like the .coms because .com is king. It's never ever going to go away. It's only going to increase in value, and you never know. Like the name RyanGray.com, I'm willing to pay more than $12.98 because I know the owner's not going to sell it to me for what he's currently has registered in it. He's going to try to make an investment back because he's had this name for well over 2 decades, about 2 decades now he's had it. So, you might register a name and later on someone like me that wants the name might come to you and ask to buy it. So, it's kind of a win-win situation for whatever you decide to do with it. All right, so I'm going to go to view cart. All right, now when you get to our cart, you can see we do offer a free domain for the first year if you add web hosting. So for my example here, I'm going to sign up for web hosting because I want to make something creative. So let me discuss how to do that. So the first thing we want to do is add the hosting here, and you can see here we can do it right here with the free, and this will make the domain registration free for that first year. So we're going to go ahead and confirm it, and you can see use the domain already in my shopping cart. So I'm going to click use. And now we can configure the web hosting package. So here at NameHero, we are currently running our spring special. Let me bring it back up here so you can see it. And all of our packages are discounted pretty heavily. Now these prices are $3.59 a month, $5.99, $10.17, $11.19. These are per month with a 36-month billing term. So that's important to note as we go over here. So when we're choosing our billing cycle, you can see the discounts to get these prices, they apply on the checkout. So if I click this drop down, you can see by default it's the 36-month price. And that reduces the renewal at $5.99. But then once we apply this coupon on the checkout, it's going to go all the way down to $3.59. So the longer you sign up, the more you save. Now, since we're going to be using this specific website just to create something creative, and again, I'm going to do this, just creative for my upcoming son. I only want to buy the hosting for 12 months. Now, I will continue to renew the domain, which I can do that separately, but I just want the hosting for 12 months because what I'm going to do that's creative, it's only really relevant up until he's born. And after he's born, I might use this domain to share news with extended family that's out of town. I could create an email account with it. And, if I wanted to use it for a more permanent basis, perhaps I was going to start a blog for my son that would go on, then I would choose 36 months. But for my specific purpose here, I'm only going to use it for 12 months. Or for 1 year. So that's what I'm going to choose. And then again, at the end of this billing cycle, I can let the hosting run out and I'll continue to renew the domain. All right, so, and again, the price does go up a little bit when I'm choosing a 12-month versus 36-month cycle, but still, the spring coupon is going to work, and it's going to take off a good bit from this $7.49 as well. So I'm going to go down here. Backups, since this is just a website for my son that I'm making, and it's not really a business website or a really active website, I'm not going to worry about adding additional backups. We actually do complimentary nightly backups for free with 1 night's retention, so that's really good for this type of site. A dedicated IP address, if you're going to be creating email accounts for this, then you want to choose this. Now, I'm personally not going to. I have a feeling, one day when my son's older, he probably would like to have his email address, me@hisfirstandlastname.com. So this would be appropriate to add then, but we've got several years for that. So we're going to skip over that and continue. All right, now we're back at our domain screen. And, we don't have that option to add hosting because we already have it. There's only one feature that I recommend adding, and that's the ID protection. This is $2.98 a year, and this actually just protects your website or your personal information from getting spam. When you register a domain, and this is anyone out there that registers a domain, there is a database called the Whois database, and this requires your first and last name, your mailing address, and your phone number, and your email address. So it requires that those pieces of information to be in a public database. So if you register a domain, the domain's public, and also this database is public. Now, because of privacy laws in the European Union, a lot of Whois databases are gated, meaning that the general public doesn't have access to the information right off the bat, but there's still other ways that people can access that. So if you get the ID protection, we basically take the information that you provide and we mask it with our information. And so basically, if you're entering your name, your email address, your real physical address, and your phone number, we'll mask all that with our information. And if someone sends you a letter in the mail saying they want to buy the domain, we'll forward that to you. Likewise, we'll take your email address, and instead of showing your real email address, we're going to show a guarded email address. So it's at whoishero.com, and it looks like a random string of numbers in letters, and if they email that email, it'll actually forward to your personal account. So the ID protection just protects your personal information. If you've ever registered a domain before, it's likely you've gotten some of this spam, and some nowadays they're even texting spam. So it's, in my opinion, this is important to add for $2.98. But hey, if you don't care, you want to have more junk mail, you want to have more junk email, keep it off. But this isn't a NameHero thing. This is every domain out there in the world that's registered has this database to it. So we're going to continue on, and it's going to bring us to our checkout to where the discount is going to apply and we can complete our order. Now, of course, it didn't add here, so I'm going to manually add the coupon. So the coupon is New Spring, so I'm just going to manually add it here. I'm just going to type it in here, New Spring, click Validate Code. And you can see that took off $35.95. So now we're looking at $56.91 instead of the proposed $92.86. So this is important to note, though, because you're actually getting the cost of the domain. So instead of just buying the domain would have been $12.98. So if we deduct that off of here, we're actually going to be only buying the hosting for about $44. Now this is for the year. After the year is up, we can let the hosting expire. You don't want to use it anymore. In my case, I'm probably not, but I am going to keep the domain, and you can keep renewing that domain for $12.98 a year. I did add the ID protection, as I mentioned, so it's about $15-16 a year is what my domain is going to renew at, and again, I'm going to keep that forever. So that's probably going to be appropriate in your case as well. Now, in my case, this promo code did not automatically apply. Most of the time it does, but I think I let this sit too long as I was doing our video. All right, so we're now going to proceed to the checkout and review everything, get our site online. So we now have to enter all of our stuff and complete our payment. So I'm going to complete this, and then I'll resume the video once we're all set. All right, so now we've completed our payment and we're at the final checkout screen, or the final confirmation screen. So at NameHero, we are obsessed with customer service and satisfaction. If this video helped you out today, or you really just enjoyed your order experience, we certainly do appreciate all 5 stars on here. Reviews are everything nowadays, and you also have the opportunity to share a message with those that might be coming behind you to shop. And again, we really do appreciate this. It's by no means a requirement. If you don't want to fill out anything, you can leave it blank. You don't have to enter your name if you don't want. And your email address, it populates in from what you've already entered. But this is not to spam you or anything. This is just to follow up with the quality of your order, if you have any additional questions. It's not to be sold or used for marketing purposes. So again, if you'd like to fill this out, you can just click submit, and we certainly appreciate it. If you don't want to, if you're like, Ryan, I don't know yet, I just signed up, and really I don't want to fill out anything right now, just click the X. It's not a requirement. We just are always working on tweaking and providing the best customer service and care. So that's one way we do things here at NameHero. All right, so now I've placed the order, I've paid. Now I can continue to client area. Now this is my demo account, so I've got several different domains and hosting packages, but if I go over to my domains now, you can see I've got one for my son in here, cruzgray.com. So this shows that the domain is here in my account. It's next due on April 17th, 2020. And again, this is something that I want to continue to renew. So me personally, I keep auto renewal enabled, which is automatic. And I've used my credit card, so it'll automatically just rebill on that credit card. And of course, we'll send you an invoice before that comes due. Now, I wanted to set up, I ordered the hosting package so I could set up something cool. So I could set up actually a website when you go to cruzgray.com. So I'm actually going to do this as kind of just a surprise for my wife to show her. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, sometimes, the gift with more thought speaks a lot of volume. And again, this is just something creative I thought of. I was going to do it today and just decided to record it and put it out here on the YouTube channel. Because heck, I might help someone else. Someone else might have the same idea, or you might pick up something you did not already know. So I'm in my client area, and now I want to navigate to my web hosting package. So I'm going to click Cloud Web Hosting. Now again, this is my demo, so I do have several other accounts that I play around with here on our YouTube channel and on our blog, but I'm wanting to mess with the cruzgray.com that I just created. So I'm going to click Starter Cloud. Now, when you first purchase your hosting package and your domain, it might take about 24 hours for your website to become live. This is called DNS propagation. In most areas, especially in the United States, Canada, it's normally about an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes it's even instant. So if you go to your domain immediately and you've ordered web hosting and it's not immediately there, give it some time just to propagate. There's nothing wrong. It just takes some time to get active across the internet. Now, if I check my site, let's see. It's already active, so you can see it was done instantly. Nowadays, most internet service providers, it's very quick to get these websites live. But again, if it's not instant, don't worry. You didn't do anything wrong. It just takes some time. So we're going to go back. We want to go into cPanel because, again, we're going to create a page. So when people go to cruzgray.com, they actually see a website. And again, I'm just going to make a one-pager, real simple. And if you don't know code or anything like that, you don't have to. We're going to make this super easy. So I'm going to click Log into cPanel. And what I was thinking about doing was just doing a very basic page with the countdown to his due date and then putting a picture, just a picture from an ultrasound. So I've actually got in my other window a picture from one of the ultrasounds that I had on my phone, and I just sent it over to my computer, and I'm going to upload it. So the first thing I want to do is upload this. So I'm going to go to File Manager, and I'm going to click Public HTML. This is where all the files live for the website, or for it's going to be shown to the public. So I'm going to double click this, and you can see CGI Bin's the only thing there. And if I go here, you can see that's forward facing to the web. So I want to upload that file. So I'm going to click Upload. And then I want to drag my picture to right here. So I've got it in another window, and I'm just going to drag that ultrasound picture there. I called mine background, and I probably need to put an extension on it. So let me do that. So it's uploaded, go back, and background. I need to make sure mine's .jpg. Yours should automatically have an extension. I played around with mine and didn't have it. So now background.jpg, we have that uploaded. So that's important because we're going to use that here in our next step. So let's go back to cPanel. So now we want to type in publisher. And we're going to go to Site Publisher under Domains. This is going to generate us a one-page website. It's going to be 100% free and really quick. So these are some example pages, and it's already making me mad. So these are kind of examples of what we're going to try to do here. And you can see I want to do a countdown, which countdowns the number of days until he is born. So you can see on this, there's 3 of them. One's kind of a countdown medical, countdown tech, countdown musician. So these are basically intended for websites that are new, that are about to get started, just a coming soon page. So when someone goes to your domain, they don't see this, they can actually see something. So that's what I want to do here. And let's see. So I've got 3 options with the countdown, or 4 options with the countdown. I'm sorry, I didn't see fresh there. And I'm going to change the background to have its own picture. So these are really irrelevant, but I'm going to use the countdown and the color of the button. So I can look here. I've got a blue one, a kind of a gray, I guess it's a light brown or something, a green, and a red. I like the blue since this is going to be a boy, but again, it's not limited to a boy. I'm just going to click the medical one. And if I go up here, I've got some questions to answer. So site title, I'm going to call this, whatever you want to call your website. So I'm just going to call this, let's see, let's come up with something creative. Cruise Gray will make his, let's see here, actually let's do something like this. Future home of the legend Cruise Gray. That sound corny? Future home of the legend Cruise Gray. I guess we could do anything here. Future home to I don't know what else we could put. Superstar or whatnot. Just something funny here that people kind of laugh when they see it. All right, so now email address. I'm going to enter just mine in here, Ryan@NameHero.com. I could enter my Facebook here, or my Twitter and Instagram, because obviously Cruise is not going to have one yet, but it's not required. So if you have social profiles that you want to share, feel free to do so here. My primary color, it's going to be black because my ultrasound image is black, so I just want to leave it as that. This is going to be my background image, the one I just uploaded. So I've got to put this I've got to specify where I uploaded this. Now, if we go back to our file manager, remember we put this just in public HTML. So we're just going to put in /background.jpg. So we're just going to call this the file name that already exists in the file manager. So you can see background.jpg. We could just copy and paste it if we wanted to, but I just named it, here. I just typed it out. So the background color is going to be black. The countdown text color. Okay, we want to make this white. So let's make that white here. We're going to click it, close. So now you can see it's white, countdown background, primary color black, countdown button text. So what we could do is we could link this if you have a baby shower registry, and you could just send this. You could send this URL on your baby shower invites or whatnot if you have a name. So you could put on here, browse our baby shower registry, and we could link to it. So Amazon has their section to where you can create a shopping list or a registry. You can link to it here. I'm not going to even put a link in there because I don't have one, but I guess we could just put Amazon in here. But yeah, feel free to do that. Again, this is just something to be creative. Countdown content. This is going to be the countdown, the content that goes below here. So you can see just this text here. So we're super excited about the debut of our son, Cruise Gray. Just anything you want to put in here. It doesn't matter. You could put nothing if you want to. But again, I just want to do something a little creative. All right, so now the end time, this is going to be to when the baby is born. So maybe this is a scheduled due date, or maybe the scheduled cesarean section or whatnot. So I have an idea of when he's coming. So let's see here, the 8th of 2019. And you can put a time. It actually requires you to put a time. So we're just going to put 8 o'clock and then a.m. So 8 o'clock a.m. And this is going to make the countdown timer start. So from today, you'll have a countdown that goes to that date. Google Analytics, if you have a Google Analytics account to count how many visitors come, you can enter the tracking ID here. For most people, that's going to be irrelevant because me personally, I don't care how many people visit this. It's more for business websites. All right, so now I'm just going to click, actually, let's make sure everything is how we want it. It is. And I'm not putting any social stuff in here. And we'll click Publish. All right, your website successfully published on cruisegray.com. Click it. And look. So now we have something, pretty creative here. Future home of the legend Cruise Gray, 81 days, 16 hours, 22 minutes, 18 seconds. We're super excited about the day of your son, Cruise Gray. Browse our baby shower registry. So that's it. That's how you do it. We signed up for a domain. We got our hosting package. We use a site publisher to make something, custom and unique. So that's really all there is to it. Now, if you want to make edits to this page, it's not as nice as I would like it because here you can add an email account, manage website files, connect this website to the disk, or publish another website. But there's really no options to kind of go back here and edit. You actually have to go republish again. So you can go manage my website files, and we can go to index here, click edit, and click edit again. And you can see here's all the content that we did. and you can see it's in code here. So it's kind of hard to go back through and actually edit. Like if you wanted to change the button link, you would actually have to go back through and republish it. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but whatever. It's how they designed this. It wasn't me that designed it. It was cPanel. So for example, if I wanted to take the button off, let's go back here and let's just refresh it so we can see it again. Future Home and Legend Cruise Gray. I want to take this off because I do not want to have a button on it. So I'll go back, select the domain, Cruise Gray, main domain, website directory. So we can use that and select the template. And we're going to select medical and go to customize and publish. Maybe it's going to make me select it again here, customize and publish. So you can see, yes, it still does populate everything, but I just want to take the button out. So button text, button link, and publish. Now let's go back and look. And did I get rid of it? It did not get rid of it. So let's go back through here again really quick. We need to remove our button. Let's go here. Congratulations and published. Customize and publish. And let's see, it did not overwrite our files. So let's see why it did not. Domain uses the countdown medical template. All right, so I guess what we could do is just delete the index. Delete. We could delete these files here. Delete, delete, and delete. Not going to remove our background. Now go back to publisher. Select the domain. Let's see. We might need to refresh this page here. All right, so medical provider. The domain is Cruise Gray. Select the template. Medical, and go customize and publish. And now we have the button text gone. And let's see if this gets it in there for us. Publish it. Now let's go take a look. And it's still not going away. So let's refresh. And now it's gone. So I was, looks like that button there was cache. So that was what our problem was, is the button was cache. So there we go. Now we have it. So that's the site. And so again, it's just going to, kind of sit here and hang out. Now when you go to his name, it's at least not a blank template of files. I can use this on my baby shower invites. My wife can use it on the baby shower invites. I'm personally not going to do that. But just something unique and creative to have your, future son or daughter's domain registered, something out there, for your website or whatnot. And again, it didn't take genius to set this up. I didn't have to be a coder or anything like that. I did it all just, pretty quickly. Just, I guess, for future reference, make sure that you refresh because my page cached, and that's why we didn't remove those changes that were on there. So we actually went in and deleted it and just re-added the text how we wanted it there. So pretty simple stuff. If I wanted to go in now and create an email account, I could do that as well. Let's see here. If I go back to the publisher, you can see it gives me the option. I can click here to add an email account. If I wanted just to add, Ryan@cruisegray.com, I could do it in here and it'll tell me how to set it up. If I go back just to my main cPanel, this is the main home page. I could just type in email here and also get there as well. So there's many other options inside of cPanel, but again, for my purpose, this is all I wanted to do. Just a basic one-pager, get the domain registered. Next year, when the hosting comes due, NameHero automatically sends you an invoice to remind you. You can, of course, go into your account and cancel that if you don't want the hosting, or you can email and let our team know that you wish to not cancel that, but you want to keep the domain because if you're just using this for the interim till they're born, you might not want to renew that web hosting, but you might. It just depends on what your needs are. So, this kind of solves my initial question that my brother and I were talking about. Do we register the domain for our children? I do. I believe in it. He does. I think anyone else out there, should really consider it because the names only can go up in value. And just like RyanGray.com, someone came in and got it, and now I'm going to have to pay a premium to get the domain. And if you have many names you're still choosing on, limit it down to the first 4 or 5, register them, and then you can do something creative with them or whatnot. But really, anytime you register a first and last name and don't have a middle initial, you're at an advantage there. Now, if the first and last name is not available, then of course you might need to add your middle initial or whatnot. But this is why we have our domain search engine. Try to make it as easy and quick as possible for anyone out there to register a domain for their kids as an investment. So let us know if you have any questions. I know this is something a a little bit different here than we normally publish, but I was going to do it. And I said, well, while I'm going to do this, why not film it? So that's what we did here. So thanks so much for watching and using us here at NameHero.com.